So in this question, we're told that a line passes through the points P and Q, which are 2 minus 3, and Q is going to be 7, 2. And we're simply asked, what is the equation of the perpendicular line which passes through the point Q? And so just to quickly draw what's going on here, we can find roughly where P is. It's going to be somewhere down here like this. And then Q is going to be at the point 7, 2, which is going to be across at 7 on X and then up at 2 here. So it's going to be something like this. And so we can just label our points here. And we're told that a line passes through these 2 points, P and Q, so we can draw sort of a dotted line there. And then we're looking for the equation of the perpendicular line which passes through Q. So if we were to draw that in red, it would look something like this. So perpendicular to our line PQ. So it's going to look something like this, where I just had to fix it there, but it's going to look something like this. We're going to be finding the equation of this red line on the right here. And there's always going to be 2 steps here when we have 2 points and we're looking for a line. Our first step is going to be to find m, which is the value of the slope. Our second step is going to be to use the formula y is equal to mx plus c to find the equation of our line. And then actually the third step here, because we're finding a perpendicular line, is going to be to invert the slope in order to find the new line. And so now we can do all that here. First starting off with finding m, which we've got our formula for over here on the right. And that's straight from your log tables on the coordinate geometry page to find the slope of a line given 2 points. And so just plugging in our points into the formula, we can see that our slope is going to be 2 minus 3. So just be careful with your sign here as well. It's kind of one area you could accidentally slip up in this question. And then on the bottom, we're going to have 7 minus 2. And so we can just tidy this up now. And it's going to be 5 over 5, which is just going to simplify to 1. So our slope here is going to be 1. And now natural next step is going to be to just invert this. So the way I always do it is that for a slope a over b, our perpendicular slope is going to be minus b over a. So essentially multiply by minus 1 and then just flip the fraction. So you're kind of changing it in every possible way if you think about it. So it's kind of the exact opposite line or the exact opposite slope. So simply flipping the fraction and making it negative. And so in our case, it's actually going to be fairly straightforward because our fraction is just going to be 5 over 5. So that doesn't actually have to be flipped because it's just 1. But we do have to change our slope into minus 1. So our slope for our perpendicular line is going to be, so we'll call this m1. So m2 is going to be equal to minus 5 over 5 or just minus 1. So that's going to be the slope for this kind of new line. And the last step here is going to be to use this formula y is equal to mx plus c to find the actual equation. And so our points xy is going to be q because we know that it passes through q, and so xy is going to be the point 7, 2. So now we just need to turn this into an equation. So y, which we know is 2 here, is going to be equal to mx, or minus 1 times x, which is 7, plus c. And so that's the reason we're actually setting this equation up in the first place, is to find the value of c. And so we can just get c on its own by just adding across this 7 here on the left or the right hand side. And that is going to give us c is equal to 9. And so we can write our equation now, which in general for this line passing through q over here in red that we sketched at the start of the question is going to be y is equal to minus x plus 9. And it does kind of make sense if we were to go back to our graph that if we extended this up, this red line, it would cross somewhere up here on the y-axis, which does look roughly to be 9 based on kind of the earlier parts of our sketch of drawing the coordinates. And so that's going to be it for this question. I will just quickly convert this into the alternative form as well, which is x plus 9 minus y is equal to 0. So sometimes they will ask you to put it in this form as well, rather than y is equal to mx plus c. But that is going to be the equation of our line now, and so that's going to be it for this question.